Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another video here. So I wanted to talk about episode 15, and there was a few things here. First of all, I want to break down the trailer and talk about some of the bigger storylines that have been teased in the trailer. I also want to go through the synopsis because that's actually been released now, and I want to talk about something that was actually hinted at. I believe it was in episode 13 that I saw on Twitter, so I want to give some thoughts on that. And then there's some Rick stuff that has been kind of circulating online that it's definitely a rumor right now. But yeah, I'm going to connect that to the end here and we'll talk about that a little bit here. So obviously, before we go any further, make sure to be aware that this will contain spoilers for episode 14 of The Walking Dead final season. And also, if you are new here, make sure to hit subscribe if you want more Walking Dead content like this. But let's get into the episode 15 synopsis here. So first of all, thank you to Kristen Acuna. I'll leave a link to her Twitter down below. Definitely go follow her. She's really great at finding out a bunch of Walking Dead information. She has really great insight. I mean, if you're not following her, what the hell are you doing? Like, trust me, I think she's probably #1, I would say, in terms of, finding out really great information and having some really great insight, I would say, from the cast and stuff like that. So it's, yeah, definitely, I'll leave a link down below. Go check her out. But yeah, two things from her actually that she tweeted recently that I found very, very interesting. So first of all, I guess I'll start with the synopsis. This is for episode 15 titled Trust. And the synopsis, first of all, it's directed by Lily Marie or Marai and written by Kevin DeBolt. Yeah, the synopsis reads, Hornsby inspects the human carnage piled up at the Riverbend apartment complex, which, by the way, that apartment complex that Negan, Annie, and the rest were staying at, that's actually called Riverbend. I had no idea. I saw a few people commenting that, but yeah, I guess this is confirmation, right? So it's the Riverbend apartment complex, but anyways, he knows it doesn't add up and he's determined to prove it one way or another. Taking things into their own hands, Daryl, Gabriel, Aaron, and Maggie try to stay one step ahead of him. As secrets are revealed, boundaries are pushed, and an unexpected new job is offered. Ezekiel, too, has a secret of his own, one he hopes to share with Carol. So, yeah, a lot to break down there. I mean, you focus on the first part here. We basically saw that in the trailer, right? Like, Lance or Lance Hornsby is very suspicious of Gabriel and Aaron, and he thinks that there's something up here. It makes no sense. He even says in the trailer that the only way it makes sense for you two to be alive right now is if the people in here knew you. And so, he's smart. He's definitely smart. That is true, because everyone else died. Why keep them alive, right? It makes no sense unless they knew him. Because, like, if these people were just strangers to Gabriel and Aaron, they would have thought that they were with the Commonwealth unless they knew them and knew that Gabriel and Aaron weren't actually with the Commonwealth, or at least that they were good people, blah, blah, blah. And so, yeah, I can't wait to see where that's going to go. Obviously, I think he's very suspicious of just everyone in general. I think he's not dumb, right? Like Lance isn't dumb. Like, he knows that he can't even probably trust like Carol, Daryl, like anyone who came from this group. Basically, he knows that there's going to be some trust issues there, and that the second part of the synopsis actually says, like, taking things into their own hands, Daryl, Gabriel, Aaron, and Maggie try to stay one step ahead of them. That part that I actually find really interesting, because Daryl's actually, it seems like Daryl knows a little bit more here. So I do wonder if we're going to get a scene where Aaron or Gabriel tells Daryl, right, like, oh, this is actually what went down here. And, like, even if we didn't get that, I think Daryl would probably just assume that something went wrong here, or he's going to see something from Maggie or Negan, just about the whole situation there. And it does kind of seem like the new group, or at least Negan and Annie's group, that they most likely went to the Hilltop, right? It kind of feels like that's where they went, and maybe they're hiding at the Hilltop right now, and Maggie's keeping them hidden. The point is, it seems like Lance Hornsby wants his weapons back. He wants all of that back, and so I think that's why they go to the Hilltop, because he believes that they're hiding something. And obviously, he is right, but I mean, in a sense that, like, he's obviously kind of wrong, because it wasn't them at all, right? It's a big miscommunication here. He's just assuming all that the person who really stole the supplies or the weapons was Leah. So I want to see how that's going to play a role here. Like, when is that revealed, right? So yeah, we're going to have to wait and see. The next part of the synopsis here actually says, as secrets are revealed, boundaries are pushed, and an unexpected new job is offered. So I actually think that part there is in relation to Connie and Kelly there. But we're going to talk about that in a second, because that's a big part of the video I'm doing. The last part here, Ezekiel 2 has a secret of his own, one he hopes to share with Carol. Did he not get the surgery? Did he fake the surgery? Did he tell Tommy and them just to say that he got the surgery, but actually give the surgery to someone else? Like, That's the only thing I could really think of. Like, what's the secret that he has? I, I don't really know, unless he's planning to like propose to her again or something like that. Like, I don't really know. This is kind of random here with Ezekiel because he hasn't really played a big role really at all, like all season. So this could be the start of something new for Ezekiel, which would be really exciting because he is a bigger character. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that. But going back to the other thing there with the secrets being revealed, this is where everything I think is going to start to connect here. And this is with the big list storyline, right? Like the list, like what is it? What is this list? There's obviously two names that we saw here are recognized. And that is April's name, and obviously April was the woman that was trapped in the bunker or whatever you would call it with the safe, right? And I don't know if Lance played a role in that, but Sebastian did. Lance seemed to know about it though, so it seemed like they sent those people there, and yeah, April was there. Tyler Davis, we know, was missing, and he is also on that list. So whoever gave Connie and Kelly this list obviously knows a lot, and so I do think that's what's going to be revealed here, especially because it's episode 15. They took a break, and that's one of the things that I've learned a lot with Angela Kang's, I guess, time as a showrunner is she makes every episode worth it. Every episode will advance the story in some way. There's always a point to it. I mean, I'll just go back to literally we could go back to episode 1 of season 9, and every single episode, like for the most part, mattered. And I'm like 100% on that. I mean, ignoring the bonus episodes, obviously. I mean, just going through season 11 here, I'm not even gonna go through the first 8 episodes, but throughout this part 2 here, episode 9 obviously served to like end the Reaper arc and all of that. Episode 10 obviously introduced us to the Commonwealth and showed us that new life. That was a big point there. Episode 11 revealed the Stephanie stuff, right? 12, we got the meeting of Pamela with Maggie and her visiting everything. That was a big comic moment that needed to happen. 13, it reintroduced Negan. It reintroduced this new conflict and where we're going here. 14, obviously, it ended that storyline, but set up a big thing here for the finale. And episode 13 and 14 are kind of like a part 1 and part 2 to that whole thing there. We also saw Leah's return at the end, and that leads me to think that episode 15 is also going to be really big here because it says, as secrets are revealed, boundaries are pushed, and an unexpected new job is offered. So it kind of feels like, there's going to be something revealed with this list here. Boundaries are being pushed, so they're going to keep on the Commonwealth, right? Like they're going to try and figure out as much as they can here. And then, yeah, the whole thing with an unexpected new job is offered. I wonder if, after finding out some more stuff, Lance and them maybe catch them and they're just like, well, how about you just join me in this cause or something like that? Because whatever it is, this whole list storyline here is going to be something very big here, obviously. Like, this is going to be the thing that really takes down the Commonwealth, right? And there's also something else here that I wanted to throw in here. And I saw this again from Kirsten Acuna. I said there was 2 things. The first one was the synopsis. The second one was something that was said in episode 13 that's, I don't understand why I didn't catch it. Usually I catch things like this, but I really like this. Lance in episode 13, or maybe it was 14, but I'm pretty sure it was in 13. But he says that, so she's released a lot of resources for me, and I used some of them to send out a convoy full of supplies for that other thing. And so basically the context here is that, he's gotten a lot of resources from Pamela. And in regards to this one thing, though, with the weapons or supplies that were stolen, he was like, he doesn't want to ask for more resources because he just recently got a bunch of resources to deal with that other thing. And so what was the other thing? It's weirdly placed. And again, The Walking Dead does this with dialogue. They'll place things here and there to be very cryptic. And this definitely obviously means something here. This is CRM related. There's no other option. Like, again, we're getting to that point now in the season where a lot of this stuff is going to start to come out. And I think how we learn of this stuff, it's going to be really interesting because we're kind of at that point now, right? Like, again, we have 10 more episodes left to watch. So the final 4, is the final 4 going to focus on that? Potentially, but I really do hope we get some more CRM stuff before that. Are we getting CRM stuff in part 3? Clearly, obviously we are. But it feels like we're going there right here for the part 2 finale, that there might be something revealed there, or we might see something that, sort of holds us over to get into part 3 where we see more revelations, right? Because we're clearly going there. Gimple teased that, like he said that we're going to see how the Commonwealth and CRM know of each other or whatever. I can't remember his exact line, but it was really teasing that. And this actually kind of connects to something else that I do want to touch on. And again, this literally is a rumor, so just take this, it's a rumor, so just take it as a rumor. There's been no official confirmation. We have no idea, but there's been a lot of people talking about it online that apparently there's a rumor of a Rick and Michonne spinoff, like TV show actually happening. And I posted like months and months ago, or not months and months ago, maybe like 2-3 months ago, a video on why I think a Rick television show would actually work better than the movies. And the reason really is because you can do like 4 or 5, 6 seasons and then just end it, right? And maybe if you want to do a final Walking Dead movie, but I don't even think you really need to do that. It just seems like right now in this current day and age that the television shows, at least for things like this, work a lot better. It really does kind of feel like television shows are just more successful with this kind of thing than movies are, right? Like I look at Spider-Man No Way Home. That was a really big movie. Was it as big as Endgame and Infinity War? No, not really, but again, the hype is not completely there. It was really big, don't get me wrong, it was actually really big, but it just kind of feels like with movies right now, things aren't where it was a couple of years ago, right? And you look at Marvel and a lot of Disney Plus's other television shows, they have a lot there. They're all very successful. People love talking about it week to week, and I think that's one of the things with The Walking Dead and why it's so successful is that you have episodes airing week to week, and you have people like me or a bunch of other, journalists and whatnot talking about the show week to week and having that excitement, that hype building up to each episode. That format really works. And I think a few years ago, people looked at television shows as like, well, people just binge it. And recently, people aren't binging it anymore. Like the binging format is sort of gone because if you just drop a full season, you watch it, you binge it over a weekend, and it's done, right? And then it's just sort of, that's it. But a lot of television shows now will release maybe 1 episode or 2 or 3 or something on like a big release day. And then afterwards, it's week to week for a while. And I actually think that's so much smarter. Movies just aren't that big. And honestly, a Rick Grimes movie would be so huge in terms of, bringing people to the theaters, reintroducing fans to The Walking Dead, people who were fans a long time ago. But I think that the hype that would be there week to week it would never be there. It would just be like watching a trailer. People would be like, oh, that's interesting. They'll go watch it or something in the theaters. And then after the first weekend, that's basically it. In terms of how I would cover it, I would review it for that first weekend, do videos over the next week or two, maybe over the next month if there's some stuff there that's leading to a television show, blah, blah, blah. But that's basically it. That is basically for the most part it. So I really do like the idea of a Rick Grimes television show. And I do wonder if some of the rumors out there are going to end up being true. Because, I remember last year, Norman Reedus said that, or it was last year or the year before, I'm pretty sure it was last year at Comic-Con. It was at some point there anyways. But Norman Reedus was asked about when the Rick movie was going to come out, or if there was any update or whatever, something like that. And he basically just said that the scope of everything has sort of changed. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? I feel like changing from a movie to a television series would explain the big delay, right? I think that combined with the fact that, Scott Gimple and them were just sort of out of nowhere, like out of left field, all of a sudden we find out that The Walking Dead is ending. I think that's going to cause a big delay in the movie because it makes no sense. Andrew Lincoln was going to film in the spring of 2021. They were ready to film. Like he said, if restrictions lift and all that, hopefully we can film like this spring or summer. I'm really excited to do that. It never happened and we got no explanation. Weirdly, Gimple didn't give an update last December when asked about the Rick Grimes movies. He didn't say anything. And so this really does explain a lot if they are changing a lot of it. And maybe like just then in December, they weren't ready to confirm that they're not doing the movies and that they're going to be doing a TV show instead. And yeah, I think most fans would actually really love that. It really is kind of like it's like 40-60, I would say. I did a poll a long time ago and the results were like, I think it was like 30 to 40% still wanted the movie trilogy. And then the other 60 to 70% was like, do a television show because we get more Rick Grimes. That's, you can do 6 episodes to 10 episodes per season. People are going to love that, much more screen time with the character. So, as to how this relates to the original topic of the video, this is the stuff that they're trying to set up right now. You're looking at the trailer for episode 15 and, you look at the list here and just that storyline in general. This is the stuff that they're going to slowly get into here. And they have a lot of tricks up their sleeves. We weren't expecting Isle of the Dead. We weren't expecting a lot of stuff that came out over the last few weeks. And out of nowhere, they they've been announcing things constantly. So I really like, The Walking Dead is about to end here. I guess April 3rd for us, but April 10th for people who watch on cable. That's the date where I'm expecting some kind of an announcement regarding, first of all, the Tales of the Walking Dead trailer might actually drop. So there might be some news regarding Tyrese and his return and this and that. But yeah, we're going to have to wait and see on that. Definitely this year for Comic-Con is going to be a big year. I do expect some Rick Grimes news for sure. And more than that, a Daryl and Carol spinoff title and some clarification on that, more details on that. So yeah, I'm really excited for that. This year's going to be a big year for The Walking Dead, but definitely post your thoughts down below. First of all, I guess on all the Rick stuff and all that. And then on the episode 15 synopsis and the trailer, what are your predictions? Hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.